just like everyone else, so many people have been creative and trying to get around the restrictions to still support so many of the things in the theaters and the arts. And so, and that includes the West Bloomfield Middle School. They have an upcoming program. What happens in Neverland stays in Neverland. To talk more about that, we have pretty much a full cast, but let's go ahead and start with Kristin Stevens. She's the creative director and English musical theater teacher over at the middle school. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
What has it been like to try to put on programming right now in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, it's felt pretty impossible, and definitely shed some tears and frustration to my partner and co-director, April Tini. But what's kept us going through it all and what's helped motivate us is the students. They're so passionate and creative and involved and eager. They're eager to learn, and they're dying to create and engage with each other. And so once my partner and I saw how motivated they were, we decided that we just couldn't let COVID hold us or them back, and we had to showcase their talent and creativity and help them work towards something important throughout all of this. And I think it's really helped me get through this COVID time, is having something beautiful and wonderful to work toward. And I think it's really helped the kids, and it's been such a fun, glorious thing to do when really we thought that nothing was possible at the start of this school year.
So with that, April, you're the co-director. What was it like to try to organize all of this and bring it together and do it? I would imagine you've been doing a lot of it via Zoom, or are you in person?
Yes, Ronnie. Well, in the West Bloomfield Middle School, our academic classes meet in person, and the elective classes meet online. So Kristin and I co-direct the musical theater class, which meets via Zoom only, and has been that way since September. So Kristin and I have been meeting regularly over FaceTime or Zoom and planning. We try to stay a week or two ahead of the kids based on what we've been able to accomplish in the previous week. And the organization is tremendous, but it's interesting because everything takes on a different way when it comes to trying to communicate over Zoom. So there's email involved, there's class time, there's asynchronous work. We were lucky because we were able to gain the students' trust, and we did that by just ensuring them at the beginning of the year that we were there for them, and we promised that we would help them put together the most amazing virtual project that we were capable of. And the students really stepped up, and they helped Ms. Stevens and I organize in the way that we needed to. So it was not easy, but it's been fun. We've had a lot of laughs in between the frustrations, and the kids seem really excited to be with us. We've created a wonderful community, and through that community creation and trust, we've been able to get to the heart of the art, which is putting on this wonderful production.
And so with that, we're lucky enough to have a couple of the students with us here on the MegaCast. Joseph, if we can bring you in to the conversation, what's your role?
My role in this play is Peter Pan, with a couple of other students who are playing the same role.
What's this been like for you?
It's pretty crazy and also really fun at the same time, because learning over Zoom is totally different than last year when I was in 6th grade, because you got to interact with different students, and you get to do that the same way. It's just over a computer. And I feel like also doing it in person and being able to film it in person was a step up from what you could do when you would be in 6th grade, which is the still same in-person interaction, but it's just not the same because you have to learn in different ways.
So with that, were you able to help Kristin and April with some of the technical sides? Because I feel like as students, you guys are so much smarter than we are when it comes to technology today. I think we're freezing up a little bit with you here. So if Sarah, let's go ahead and bring in Sarah Lauerman now. She is also a member of the play. Again, What Happens in Neverland Stays in Neverland. It is the West Bloomfield Middle School's programming that they're going to be putting on. Sarah, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
What's your role in the play?
I play Wendy with a couple of other girls.
So how's that been for you and the other people playing the same part?
Well, I think it's been a really good experience. You know, I've never had to do anything like this before, acting over Zoom. And it's been really cool to see, you know, the kinds of things that you can do over Zoom, which I didn't know before. And I like the other girls. I think they're super nice. And I think we all did a great job and really pushed through doing our best with this.
What did you learn from this experience?
I definitely learned more about acting with a camera because, again, I've never really done this before. And I learned more about, you know, what musical theater was really about. It's not necessarily about acting on a stage or putting on a production. It's more about the people in the class that really make it an amazing class.
So with that, Kristin Stevens will bring you back into the conversation. She's the creative director and English musical theater teacher for the West Bloomfield Middle School. Kristin, what is this going to look like once the performance is done? Is it going to be a virtual performance, nothing in person?
Yes. So this is something very unique to COVID times. We put together a virtual production. And so what we did was all of the rehearsals took place over Zoom or through video submissions. The kids would record themselves, send them to me. I would record myself and send it back to them. But we were fortunate enough to be able to book the Berman Theater. They set up a virtual production kind of house there. So we were able to put up different small sets. It's like a recording studio. So we recorded live very safely with very small groups of students, following all of the guidelines, of course. So we recorded live, and then the videos, there'll be 3 casts because we wanted to give everyone an opportunity to be in it. Those videos are almost done being edited, and they are being put into a video. So we will have 3 videos of 3 casts for this production, and it will stream on the district's YouTube channel.
This is really fascinating to me how everyone's been able to get creative throughout this time. Hey, April Teeney, she's the co-director for the upcoming program, What Happens in Neverland Stays in Neverland. April, when it came to actually trying to merge all these pieces, what's that process been?
Well, there certainly was a lot of foresight involved, right? Mrs. Stevens and I planned with our knowledge of film versus live, which is what we used to teach the kids, and then it was carefully planned. Mrs. Stevens did an amazing job of planning each of the kids to come in at a separate time to keep it COVID compliant and record themselves. And there were a few ensemble numbers, which or ensemble scenes rather, which we recorded, very carefully and safely. And we instructed the kids ahead of time what to expect. And we were lucky, Ronnie, because everything, like the stars aligned for us. Our videographer and our audio engineer are pros, and they worked beautifully with the kids. The kids were completely prepared. We had a wonderful costumer on set with us, and then a lighting tech. And so all the pieces were there, like we were creating a real film. And the kids not only got to see each other from a distance, COVID safely, but then they got to act in front of a camera. They got feedback. They were able to sometimes do a second take. Sometimes they didn't need to do a second take. And I think they were thrilled. They were proud of themselves. And they realized that with the trust that they had put in to us and the trust that we had in them, all came together. So
It really is a lot to go on and to put into trying to pull this off. Joseph Davis, he's one of the students playing one of the roles of Peter Pan. So how does this work for you? Do you like this better?
I think that it's definitely a change, and I think that the way that they put it together, I do like it better than if we were to only put on a virtual production, because it's contact with different people and has, as they mentioned, the sets. So I do like this a little bit better, but at the same time, it would have totally been better if we were able to do it live.
But is it a little bit harder when you're live? Because if you mess up, you just have to keep going. Whereas when it's recorded, you can say, "Can we do that again?"
Yes, that is definitely true. With being on a live set, you have to know all your lines, be ready for any count-ins. But with recording, if you
I think we lost the last part there with you, Joseph. You're dragging just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and bring over Sarah now. Sarah Lauerman, she is playing the part of Wendy along with other students. Sarah, what's been the best part of this for you? It's different than a live performance, but what do you like about this?
I think the best part was actually being able to put on a production. When I came into this year, I didn't really know what it was going to be like because of doing it virtually. But I think the best part, is still having all of my classmates and still having that interaction with all of them. It's a great community.
With that, Sarah, I have to say, you've been back for in-person classing at least part-time?
Yes, I have 4 of my academic classes in the actual classroom and then my 2 arts classes over Zoom.
Were you excited to go back to the school building? Or did you like learning at home wearing your pajamas?
I was not excited at first because I did like sleeping in and being able to wear whatever I wanted and be wherever I wanted, but it was actually really good once I got back to school, and it was better than I realized it would be.
So what do you think you've learned from trying to do this production and the way that you've had to format it because of the COVID crisis? Do you think it's made you, to some degree, a better performer?
I definitely think so. I think it's really expanded my skills and what I've been able to do through acting, with the camera and live. And like I said before, I've learned a lot more skills through this whole experience.
We're talking with several members over at the West Bloomfield Middle School. Kristin Stevens, she's the creative director and English musical theater teacher. April Teeney, co-director, and Sarah Lauerman and Joseph Davis. They are students at West Bloomfield Middle School. They have the upcoming production of What Happens in Neverland Stays in Neverland. Kristin, if we can jump back to you. We're sorry, it's a little crazy here with the 4 people on Zoom and going back and forth. When is the performance? How can people find it? And will it be recorded so that maybe if people miss it at the first performance, they can rewatch it?
Yes. So it's not officially live. It's been pre-recorded and is in the editing process. So the videos will be made available on West Bloomfield School District's YouTube channel, and that will happen on April 16th at 8 p.m. And they will be up all weekend through probably around midnight on Sunday, April 18th. There are 3 videos, 3 casts, because we wanted to allow all students to be a part of this fun opportunity. And I was just texting with Mr. Dan Durkin, our media and marketing person at the district, and he said it will be streaming on Facebook and Twitter, and it will be on our district website and YouTube channel.
That's great. And one of the good things about this is we know a lot of times, some of the students have relatives. When we do these performances the old-fashioned way in the theater, sometimes people can't make the performance just due to schedules, or maybe they live out of town. So this is kind of one of the benefits of COVID and the crisis, is that it's going to be available for them and their loved ones to see throughout the country.
Absolutely. I completely agree. My family is in California and spread out around the West Coast, and they are so excited to be able to support us. And I completely agree. That is a very big positive thing that's come out of this.
And with that, April, before we say goodbye, anything that you want to add about this performance?
It's very, very special. We're so proud of the students. We still feel that this has been something remarkable we've been able to accomplish. We are grateful for the support of our colleagues at West Bloomfield Middle School and within the West Bloomfield District, who said, okay, if you feel like you guys can do this, go right ahead and do it for the kids. So we did have a lot of support within the district. We also had a lot of support with our student families and the students themselves. Again, Ronnie, I think I've said it 3 times, but that the kids trusted us is it's the most important thing. They put their trust in us, and then we, together, Kristin and I were able to deliver, and we garnered strength from each other. So we're just very, very grateful for this process, and we choose to look forward, and we choose to celebrate the now, because we've all spent enough time mourning a little bit the past and what we've lost, and we're all aware of it now. And this is great. This is marvelous. And we thank you for having us on today and allowing us to share with you this wonderful experience. And hopefully as many people as possible can watch this amazing show and these amazingly talented students.
And Sarah and Joseph, we want to say good luck to the both of you. Probably it takes away from a little bit of the nervousness of opening day because it's recorded. Are you nervous at all, Sarah?
I am nervous. I'm always nervous when these things happen. But in the recording process, it was a little less nerve-wracking.
How about for you, Joseph? Were you nervous, or are you nervous? Or you seem like you're a cool, calm cucumber.
Yes, I was nervous. Yes, and I still am, for my family to see the rest of my monologue.
Well, I'm sure they'll be very proud of you, and good luck to all of you. And thank you all for, trying to keep the spirit of the arts alive throughout the pandemic. And it's been a great thing for people to focus on and kind of take our minds off of everything that's going on. So we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.